Hi there. I haven't been doing a lot of work today. Well, um, I've been doing a lot of thinking and more than communicating. Well, I'm the world's worst person for communicating with anyone else. But I've been doing writing poetry and things like that, and thinking very about Gnosticism, contemplation, a bit like deep thought in Douglas Adams. Anyway, I've also been doing a lot of music as well. I do music pretty much every day, composing, and I find that composing music makes me more methodical. It makes me more less flaky and more rational, actually. Interestingly enough, you'd think it'd be the opposite, but in order to get ideas down, you have to work hard, which I find very difficult to do because I'm a really lazy person and don't want to work. But anyway, so this is the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of uploading recently. I've been thinking about I'm thinking about the three and the one, matter, energy, consciousness, how they form a triangle, how they are three and how they are none, how they are one. Um, so I've been playing around with these concepts for quite a few weeks now, and not really getting anywhere, But when I tried to draw this triangle as three circles. We are contained by matter, right? Um, and then we are contained by energy. Energy is contained by matter, and in the middle of this is consciousness, which is contained by both energy and matter, and it contains itself, self-referring. Um, but and it seems like it's all connected, so that if when matter grows cold, energy dissipates and consciousness fades away. So it's kind of a fairly grim and pessimistic view of the future, from the material point of view, in the fact that everything is just going into a bottomless void of the abyss, and there's nothing left. Which I also been thinking about material spiritualism, spiritual materialism rather, where all we have is the now, basically. So this is kind of like be the Buddhist view or the Zen view, because we don't have a past and we don't have a future. All we have is the present or the now, the direct experience of life itself. But you see, into this figure, where we are contained, I mean, matter, is rising, is coming from somewhere and then it goes to somewhere else. It comes from the Big Bang and it goes into the Big Cold. I think that matter just dissipates into nothingness, into space, in the vacuum of space, having come from the Big Bang. It doesn't go back and repeat itself. There is only one way. The train is only going one way, and that is into oblivion. So into this state of affairs, uh, you get the avatar of God, and which you can think of as Jesus, if you want to. And Jesus, it has a sort of threefold role, if you like, because Jesus, as the physician, I mean, he clears the way of all the distractions. I mean, to those that are called, sometimes he has to uh, roll away the distractions in their lives, like they're blind, and so he gets them to put mud on their eyes, and the mud is blessed, and the eyes come back, the sight comes back. So he has to clear away sometimes the physical distractions of life, such as being blind or paralyzed or mad or sick or some way. And then as so he comes into life like here, following the sort of spiral into thought itself. And as priest, he organizes the thoughts of the people, and cutting through matter and energy, and leaving the knowledge, wisdom, sayings behind. And then the psychopomp, he draws the soul out of the material, and back into the spiritual, into the fullness of God. Um, so it's that's a psychopomp, leading someone from death to life. Um, and But you see, the thing is that there must be a point. There must be a point of consciousness which is independent of consciousness as we know it, and energy and matter, that corresponds to the great fullness, and made of the same stuff, if you like, of the fullness of God. And Jesus, or the avatar of God, is the connection between the two, between the inner spark of spirituality, and the great fullness of the consciousness of God, who transcends matter, energy, and what we know as consciousness. So it's something that we know not of. I mean, there is this consciousness that is uh, beyond itself, if you like, beyond us, what we might call us in inverted commas. And then, so there must be some interface between what we call consciousness, which is connected to energy and to matter, and this completely discrete point of consciousness, which has nothing to do with matter, energy, or what we know of as consciousness. There must be some sort of interface. And that interface sometimes interfaces, and we become aware through gnosis of the avatar of God, or Jesus, on one hand, and the fullness of God on the other, or they're one and the same thing, actually. So when that interface sort of unfolds, then in life we become aware of the journey back to spirit, if this is a spirit and the fullness of God. We're going to sort of follow a path, a reverse spiral out of consciousness, out of energy and out of matter, and into the fullness of spirit. But what kind of interface this could be is very difficult to analyze, and perhaps we don't, intellectually it cannot be analyzed as such. We really don't know the relationship between this discrete spark of spirit or soul, and what we know of as consciousness, what we think is us, or the individual. And The nature of the interface is the nature of what it is. If you could understand that interface, then you could understand what needs to be done, or perhaps what needs not to be done, because there obviously is no use in intellectually analysing the nature of this complex relationship between consciousness as we know it, and this discrete spark of spirit, which corresponds, or which is a microcosm of the fullness of God. Um, and Jesus, of course, or the avatar, the psychopomp, the priest, the physician, is what connects this discrete spirit and the fullness of God. But of course, the nature of the interface may be the avatar himself. So Jesus is the actual nature of the avatar, the actual bridge that connects the spark within and the great fire of God without. If indeed there is any without or within to distinguish between, which also could be part of the mistake that we are making in this analysis, if you like. So these are the kind of concepts which I play around with, and which preoccupy my mind, and which I prefer not to sort of think about really, and I prefer to deal with pitches and notes and rests and stays and things to do with music composition, and texture and balance and function, rather than all these strange concepts that float around in my mind. When basically it could be the case that we don't ever get beyond matter, that we don't have a future, and the past is gone, and all we do have is in fact the present, and perhaps that this present, as far as I'm concerned, is expressed through music, which is very much about the here and now. I mean, obviously, musicians have to look at the score that's coming. They have to look ahead as they read the score as they're playing. But music is basically to the listener a here and now experience, and rather than and the past is the past that's gone forever, and the future is perhaps the future is the silence of the end of the piece of music. And so all you do have is the actual direct experience of the music in the here and now. And so that may be a sort of simple solution. But I can't help but try to use my intellect to penetrate the mysteries of Gnosticism. And of course, that's on one side of the equation. And the other side of the equation is when gnosis happens. Gnosis happens, and as it says in the Bible, when Jesus returns, you will be under absolute no illusions or no doubts. There will be no doubt in your mind that Jesus has returned. It won't be out of it won't be it'll be so obvious to you that you would be under no illusion about what's happening, and it won't be probably as described in the Bible or, in fact, described by anybody at all. It's a completely unique experience which is outside your concepts and outside your current experience of matter, energy, and consciousness, and something which is so out there, so other, that you will know what it is because you will know what it is not, and it is not anything that you have thus far experienced. And that's probably what gnosis actually is. It's something so other to you, that you notice it by the fact that it's not anything that you have ever experienced or can ever draw upon using your memory, or ever have speculated about. And speculation, of course, belongs in the future. So you so indeed, when gnosis happens, or when the return of Jesus happens, you will have no reference from speculation, which is to do with the future, and you'll have no reference from the past memory because it will be something that you've never experienced before. So you will have no referent or references in your mind, and you're just going to have to go with the flow. You're going to have to go with what happens, because you can't stop it. It's inevitable. You can't slow it down. You can't speed it up. You can't bring it about. You can't not bring it about. It just will be as it will be, you know. And in the midst of the experience, it is what it is, like it is now, in this current experience of matter, energy, and consciousness. If that makes any sense whatsoever, which it probably doesn't. But as I say, this is what I contemplate pretty much every week. Whether I get anywhere, I don't know.